How to develop unshakable confidence on the football pitch. It took me about 15 years to build unshakable confidence using neuroscience and different forms of esoteric practices. And I'm going to teach you in just a few minutes my mistakes, my experience, the things that worked, the things that didn't work, and what it truly takes to walk the walk and not just talk the talk. But if you want easy shortcuts, please skip this video, go somewhere else, go buy a mainstream self-help book, because the reality is being confident is easy. It's a piece of cake. It's really easy, except if you don't want it to be. If you want it to be hard, if you want it to be really, really difficult, then you should go follow the mainstream and grind it out and read 1,000 books and go to a course, go to a summit, go to a retreat, go to the university, go through all these things to finally circle back and realize it all comes back to you and your mind. And I have 5 simple habits that I'm going to lay out in front of you that will, I hope, clear things up and give you a very simple idea of how to improve your confidence as a footballer. Because as you know, you can be athletic, smart, talented, all the good stuff. But if on the pitch, you're not confident, you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to succeed. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then definitely no one else does. So you're not going to be able to perform your best because you literally won't believe in yourself, and thus your subconscious will sabotage you because, hey, you don't deserve to be successful because you don't actually believe in yourself because you yourself believe that you're not that good. So number 1, visualization. Now, of course, I'm sure most of you guys have heard about visualization, manifestation, different terms, semantics really. And now I'm not talking about normal visualization where you just sit in front of the mirror and say, I'm happy, I'm successful. All these like really simple blank statements that is just feel good in the moment, but in reality don't translate to anything because your subconscious knows you're full of it. It knows you're just saying, it knows you're not happy, and it knows you're not successful because you don't deserve to be. So you need to instead clearly define a purpose that you stand for in your mind of an ideal dream state and everything that comes along with it vividly. Because once you have a defined purpose in your mind and you actually know what it is, you know what it looks like, how it sounds, how it feels, every single last detail of your ideal dream state, then you can start to construct a plan to get yourself to that point. And the more vivid you are with your visualization, the more real it becomes. If you just say, I want to be a top class footballer, that's great. Everyone does. But instead, if you say, I want to be a 26-year-old Champions League player playing in Milan, Italy, starting at left mid, playing 35 games a season, scoring 18 goals a year, my house is in this location, I have 3 bedrooms, a pool, a garden, I have a girlfriend, I have this car, I go to coffee at this place. You need to have everything down to the exact minute detail, because the more you do that, the more it's real to your subconscious, and that's how you visualize. That's how you manifest things into reality. And I've done that myself to the point where I'm working with players that play at AC Milan and big clubs like that in the Champions League, big famous teams. On this topic of visualization, I want to comment on something that is actually very, very common, is how often footballers visualize the things they don't want to happen, and they end up actually manifesting their defeat or their failure. They actually tell themselves negative things, and they've subconsciously put themselves in negative states of belief where they bring to fruition the result they supposedly don't want to happen. And usually that can manifest in injuries, making mistakes in big games, not getting playing time, and just frankly, they just don't believe in themselves. So it's easier to believe in a future where you fail because that's at your level of belief, of self-belief. So, number 2, the smile. You hear a lot about being very stoic, being a stone cold killer these days, being cold. But I want you to think about a different future, a different way of life, a different way of being. Confidence is not about being a stone cold killer. And of course, in certain scenarios, you might need to use that character, but it's not the default mode that you should be in throughout your life, throughout your career as a footballer. I want you to think of, instead, amused mastery. It's about that quiet smirk that comes from years of perfect practice and constant leveling up of your comfort zone. It's about learning to let go, knowing that you got this, as opposed to that tensed up dude that can't breathe because he's so scared he might fail, i.e. not smiling. And usually, for example, when guys that are very athletic and they're good runners, you'll see on their face, they're not tensed up really like this, really scared, nervous, and being in a mode of struggle. Instead, guys that are great athletes, great movers, they're in a state of joy, of enjoyment, of delightfulness. They're enjoying the movement and they're smiling because they're not worried about if or if not they'll succeed at this trick or this pass or this shot or this goal. They got it. It's easy. The more you try, it just shows the more that you don't have it. So I want you to think about confidence in the form of amused mastery. And number 3, physical. Confidence means nothing when you can't look the part. Being the super fat yogi with the esoteric wizardry is cool for a few seconds, but then the reality kicks in and you're still fat. I want you to be a warrior in the garden as opposed to a gardener in a war. You need to upregulate all systems of your physical existence to reach the higher levels of consciousness. And that, first and foremost, means stopping the self-sabotage of modern living. If your physical inputs are not alive, are not well-functioning, are not healthy, then all of your mental facilities are not going to be good, not going to be at its best, and not going to be confident if you have brain fog, eye strain, and you're depressed. Subconsciously, your body knows that it's not doing good. So feeling depressed is your body way of telling you, hey bro, you gotta change some stuff because it's not working right now. That's why when you do the right things, you feel really good. It's a positive feedback loop. So this third habit of unshakable confidence is about the physical aspect. I see way too many mental trainers, mental coaches, motivation gurus who are, 1, not in shape, meaning overweight. 2, they have no idea how to nourish their bodies, nourish the physical inputs that create the mental feelings, the mental state of being that is supposedly the topic that they're experts in. They ignore basically the fundamentals of life, in my opinion. First, you have to have food, shelter, these basic needs to then look at higher states of consciousness. Number 4, learning to listen. Every single day in your life, there is a little voice in the back of your head sending you subconscious signals. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then you need to work on this step a lot. But if you do know what I'm talking about, then you need to learn to listen to that guy and get better at acting with light speed on what your intuition is telling you. Again, that is the magic of the flow state. It's a muscle, and you must train it. This connection, this intuition, that is where the impulse of creativity comes from via the state of confidence, via the flow state. So this little voice in your head is most oftentimes is your weapon that confidence gives you. When you're confident, ideas come to you. When you're confident, the next play comes to you. You're thinking on the front foot. You're going with the flow, with the rhythm. You already know what to do before the ball comes to you because you're so goddamn confident on the ball. That's why it's so important to listen to your gut instinct, to your intuition, to that little voice. And back to the third habit that I mentioned, the physical inputs. The more that you damage your physical inputs, that worsens, that damages your connection to your intuition, to the mental side, to the infinite intelligence of your creativity, to your genius. The best players have this. And number 5, the straight line. It's pretty often that you know what you have to do, and for some reason, you just don't do it. You just don't do it when you know what you have to do. It's called self-sabotage. And I want you to put yourself in the best environment as possible to follow the straight line your instinct is telling you to follow. That little voice in your head, it tells you what you need to do. And the straight line is about acting. It's about moving with speed, acting with confidence, with bravery, being courageous. And the best first layer of what to do to improve your ability to follow the straight line involves shedding negative people, negative habits, and negative conveniences that are not benefiting you, i.e., taking you towards your goals. I want you to take a piece of paper and write down everything you do every single day, and just take note of which ones don't actually help you improve and get closer to your goals. And you'll notice that there's a lot of things that most people do that actually take them farther away from where they want to go. And why do they do that? Convenience, comfort, the ego. Most people don't believe in themselves. And so it's easy to justify bad decisions because, oh, do it tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And so most humans, we live in a constant state of rationalization, where that small voice turns against us and actually leads us to our destruction, because we are so against our own success that our subconscious literally is just doing its best to lead us to what we believe we deserve, which, if you have low self-belief, which most people do have, that will lead you to the opposite of what you want. And this habit number 5, the straight line, is the step that most of you watching this probably won't do. You'll probably say, oh no, don't worry about it, like it's okay if I watch porn or play video games, or if I stay up late every night. This guy on YouTube has no idea what he's talking about. This is the step that most of you won't do. The ones that do clear out the clutter, clean up the insides of your mind, just the same as your bedroom. Clean up your bedroom, clean up the different rooms in your head so that you can subvert and transition and reassign all of your effort towards your goals. And these things apply to more than just football, of course. School, career, job, family, whatever you want. Because again, it's the root cause. And it's these hard decisions that change the trajectory of your life forever. When you finally put your foot down and fix the problems, as opposed to having your eye on all these missed opportunities. It's the shiny object theory. Most of you guys know what you need to do, but it's just about getting the right help and the right direction along the way. And that's what I'm here for. This is a 5-star video game. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Upgrade your character, and I'll see you on the other side. And if there's any questions about the mental side of the game, put it down below in the comments. I'll make a video on any good questions down there, and I'll see you guys on the next one.